Yeah, it's pretty much it's nowhere we really could go. I got talking points, and I always get talking points, and I usually take them and I look at them, and I go, whoosh,
Yeah.
because I'm pretty aware of what could possibly give away plots and storylines and stuff. You don't want to give away spoilers, and I'm very familiar with that from working with Marvel. But I also wanted to talk about the film as a fan and what I really loved about it, and so I usually take the talking points, just throw them and talk as a fan.
Where were you as a fan on the original Blade Runner? Because some people have that at
Yeah.
the top of their list.
Yeah, it's definitely very high on my list, which is a long list. But it's weird because it's gotten higher on my list throughout the years. Because when I saw it in the theaters when I was young, it wasn't super high on my list because it wasn't. It was too smart for me at that time. I was a young moviegoer, and it was just too much to think about for me. I didn't, I wanted to watch, Arnold Schwarzenegger and action films at that point. It wasn't a film that it was, it's a bit of a melancholy feel to that film. There's a lot to think about, a lot to process. And as a very young man, I was more concerned about the other girls that were in the theaters, and so as I got older and started watching it and appreciating it more and more and seeing how ahead of its time that it was, is when I really fell in love with it. Even more so, I think, with after seeing the director's cut, which was even more so thought-provoking. I think is when I really started to appreciate why people love this film so much.
This one's thought-provoking as well, and there's time in this. I don't know if I'm getting away with it. I'm not going to get away.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it, you do have time to breathe while you're watching it and to think about it.
Yeah, to kind of process it and digest it, everything, which I think is really cool because it really is a smart film, and I think it's much deeper and much more emotional than the first film, but only because it's really picking up from where the first film left off, and I think where it left off was getting a real feel for who the replicants were and what they were fighting for, and then carrying on that, and then you really see what a struggle it is and what that fight for survival really is. It's not what you tend to believe in the first film, where it's just a violent rampage, but it's not. At the end, you really realize that it's a passion for life, and it's an appreciation for life.
When you look back at Harrison Ford when he played, starred in the original Blade Runner, a lot of fans could argue this was the film that made him a star, but there's so many that he has done that has made him a star. But what did it mean to have him back in this film for all of you?
To me, it doesn't work without him. It's not the same. It's to me, without his character, it might as well have been a reboot, and I don't think that would have been. It wouldn't have done justice. It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't carry the type of same sentiment, as the first film. I think that people need to make that connection, and it was a huge task to take to be able to, to make a film that would make that connection. But to me, just speaking as a fan, if it doesn't have Harrison, it somehow just doesn't work as well.
And him working off of Ryan, how did you, when you saw the film?
Yeah.
What did you think of that kind of dance they do? And I'm not giving it away, but you working with him too.
Yeah.
Is that too much?
No. You see us together in the trailer. You see Ryan and I in the trailer. But I think even more so, obviously, because they are the two leads, and they needed to have that bond. They needed to have that chemistry, and obviously they do. And I haven't seen them interact with one another too much in interviews, but I heard you can really see and pick up that they have a certain bond. Why would they not? They're both, they're brilliant actors, and I'm sure they have a lot to discuss and talk about. But on film, their chemistry is magical. And it was very important. I think it's just another huge factor that makes this film really, really work. Yeah.